Good afternoon, it's Ashley here from One Stitch After Another, and a happy 2025 to you all. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much. It has been a while, hasn't it? And if you have stumbled upon me by chance, you are very, very welcome. I'm just drinking some water today, actually. I'm trying to up my water intake. I'm trying to up my water intake daily. But if you are into knitting, this is the channel for you. I'm going to talk today about some finished objects, some works in progress, and some knitting goals for 2025. Last year, I said that one of my knitting goals was to knit things that only brought me joy. There were some occasions where my knitting did not bring me joy. Well, it did. And the outcome was good. One of my subscribers on my other channel, Paper and Twine, asked me if I would knit them 3 pairs of socks. And I said, yes, of course. And I think I received the yarn in August, and it was for a Christmas deadline. And I thought, oh, I've got all the time in the world, you know. And there were 3 different sizes, 3 different colours. And I don't know, I'm not the quickest at making socks. I know that some people can make a pair of socks in a week. Well, I think my going rate is about a pair a month. Anyway, there were times where I was frustrated with them, but they were done and dusted, and they were very gratefully received, and the recipients really enjoyed them. So that was good. The other thing that did not bring me joy, and I've got to address it because it is something that I do want to knit, I tried to cast on the ranunculus. Now, I am a left-handed human being. I knit right-handed, but I cast on, my long tail cast on, I do left-handed. And there are 2 options for cast-ons for the ranunculus, and I tried and tried and tried and tried and tried. And I just couldn't do it. And I did one, I think it's where you use big needles, I think there were size 8mm needles together, and you do this cast on over the 2 needles so that you make a very big loose stitch. Well, it's still, with the best in the world, was not going to get over my bonds. So if anybody has done the ranunculus and can suggest a stretchy, simple cast on for me, I would be most grateful. Otherwise, I think I'm going to have to get somebody that I know can do this particular cast on. Is it a German cast on? I can't remember. I'm going to have to get someone to cast it on for me, and then I think from there it will be plain sailing. So what should we talk about first? Should we talk about goals for 2025, or shall I show you some finished objects? I've got 3 finished objects to show you. We'll start with that. I did have more goals for 2024. One was to not buy yarn unless I really needed it. Well, that went by the by. Yes. Let's do finished objects. So, oh my God, I cannot tell you how soft this is. This is the late summer wrap, and it is knit in Knitting for Olive, silk mohair and merino. It's in the colourway ballerina, and it is indeed a ballerina wrap. And I've knit 2 of these over 2024, and this is for my dear friend Jules. It's for her granddaughter who does study ballet. She is a child, and I've done this in an extra small. She will grow into it, but the softness of it is just to die for, and I want to knit myself something in this yarn combination at some point this year, or maybe next year, because one of my I don't know what to do. I want to come on to goals later. Yeah, so I love it, and I hope that she will love it. It's blocked, it's just very, 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 very slightly damp. One of the things I loved about this, and apparently a lot of Knitting for Olive patterns have really nice details. I loved the saddle shoulder shaping, which I have shown before, but I'll try and show it again. Can you see there? The light's awful, I am sorry. But I alluded to this in my last video, I think. This folded over cuff, oh, it's just beautiful. And you know, I think if I'm doing garments for myself that are long sleeve and it's a stocking stitch sleeve with maybe a ribbed cuff, instead of doing the ribbed cuff, I might do this. So you're bombing along in your stocking stitch, you do a round in purl, and then you go back to your stocking stitch and cast off, and you can just see it's about 5 rounds in stocking stitch and you catch it on the inside. Can you see that? But I just love the neatness of that. So I'm very pleased to have that off the needles and blocked. And yes, it's not the best blocking that I've done, but it is absolutely so soft. I am going to be doing a video at some point in the next month or so. What is all the fuss about knitting for Olive, particularly their silk mohair, and comparing it with a couple of other brands of silk mohair. So just pop that there. In one of my podcasts before Christmas, I was talking about feeling overwhelmed, and I had a lot of projects on the go, and people said, just do a little bit at a time. Anyway, this was the Arne and Carlos mystery knit along, stocking knit along for 2023, and I did really well keeping up right until the last minute, and I'd got about 20 rounds to do. Anyway, I have finished it. The yarn is really rustic. It's Arne and Carlos yarn for Rowan. It's called Norwegian wool or something, and it was very, very rustic. It has got a bit softer with blocking and in wool wash, but I don't think I would want to wear this right next to my skin. I think as a big chunky cardigan it would be nice. And I just did a little I-cord hanging thing, and this actually was hanging up in my kitchen on a blank wall over Christmas. My kids all said they really liked it, so maybe in the future I will knit them all a stocking. So that is finished object number 2. Finished object number 3 is Gnana. So I took part in the Nana's Visit Mystery Knit Along, hosted by Imagine Landscapes, Sarah Shearer. And I really enjoyed the process of this, but I'm not so sure about the finished object. And it'd be really great if you could let me know what you think. So here she is. I used one of the kits from Giddy Yarns, and I love it. It's got sparkle in it, and this Gnana has been sat on my shelves, which you can't see over there, and the light's occasionally been catching her, and she is lovely. Now, the kit that I bought from Lambkin Yarns, which I didn't use, I bought this colourway, came with the little glasses, but I wish the glasses had been silver and not gold, because the sparkle in the yarn is silver. I don't know, and the glasses are just a little bit big. But let's take things off. So there's this cape, which was Mystery Piece 1, and I loved actually the shaping of this with the Kitchener stitch grafting here to get the hood and the faux embroidery. So I learnt some really nice techniques. I haven't blocked her cape, so it keeps riding up. I might block it, I don't know. But yes, here she is without her cape. And I loved the process of all of this. So it's mosaic knitting, a lot of it, and what Sarah called faux embroidery, and slipped stitches, and sort of slipping stitches with yarn in front, slipping stitches with yarn behind. And I really, really enjoyed this little bit here. I didn't stuff her particularly well. I'm quite proud of her braids. I like her braids, and I do quite like her hat, but it's not my favourite gnome that I've knit, and I've knit 3 now. This is the 3rd one. I am going to treat myself with some Christmas money to the Gnomes of Grimble Wood book, I think, just to have in my stash, because I would like to add to my collection of gnomes, although I'm running out of space to display them. But that is my 3rd and final finished object. Shall we talk now about works in progress? So I was desperate to do a Christmas Eve cast on, and I did a Christmas Eve cast on. I cast on the Boxy by Joji Locatelli using my Wonderland Walk from Low Family Yarns. This was the colourway that Ali, Little Drops of Wonderful, dyed. And I cast on, I did size 2, which I think was a 64-inch circumference. I'm a 40-inch bust, roughly, at my fullest point. So it would still give me plenty of positive ease. And it was a real mammoth casting on. I think it was 390 stitches. And anyway, I did it. I cast it on Christmas Eve. And I thought this would be really good to sit knitting in the evening, because it's just literally, I think there were 3 rows of 1x1 rib and then stocking stitch. Sadly, unlike the V-neck Boxy, which I have done, this is a top up construction rather than a bottom down. No, this is a bottom up rather than a top down. Anyway, I joined it in the round, and I didn't realise until I'd got over halfway through the first skein that I'd twisted it, and I wasn't in love with it anyway. I wasn't in love with the fabric I was creating, so I pulled it back. So I thought, what can I do now? So I spent ages searching for patterns, and is this the right one? Yes. So I decided that I would do grid lines. I'll insert a picture here. Grid lines by Sosu, and I'm doing size 3. It is knit in pieces that are joined together, and it is a sideways knit. Sorry, this piece has just got tangled up with. So this is the first piece that I've done, and I've got my stitches on waste yarn, and I don't know whether you can see, obviously this hasn't been blocked or anything, but there are grids formed, and that's the first piece that I've done, and I'm almost at the end of the second piece. So I think this is the right front, and it's got a garter stitch hem. Now, if I were to do this again, I would slip my first and last stitch on each row, because I'm not happy with the edging of that. But this has given me so much grief already in terms of projects. So in fact, this is the 3rd cast on with this yarn that I've done, because if you remember last year, I did the Second Chance sweater by, was it Valentina Bogdanova? And it's a beautiful, beautiful pattern, but this yarn was too variegated for that particular pattern. So I ripped that back. Boxy, cast on, I'd done about that much, had to rip that back because it was twisted, and I didn't notice until just because of the bulk of stitches. Yeah, so I'm not pulling this back. I am going to persevere and finish this. So yes, I haven't read enough in the instructions to see where I'm going with that, but I'm quite excited by it, and it is growing quite quickly. I did most of this piece yesterday. I have to say, I'm quite enjoying this time before everybody goes back to work. I'm back at work on Tuesday the 7th. I don't work Mondays. And I'm quite enjoying the time, sort of like about 5 o'clock, curling up in the living room and watching stuff on TV. And I'll tell you what I'm watching in a minute. Yeah, and I'm enjoying my knitting very, very much. Paper crafting, haven't done much of at all. So that is grid lines. And then I'm so excited about this, and I'm really, really enjoying this. At long last, after I don't know how long, I have cast on the Habitation Throw by Helen Lewis of, is it Curious Handmade? And I'm using Sherry Iris Yarn Advent. I think I cast this on the 28th of December. And actually, I've made a mistake in the Yarn Advent that I've used. I should have used a different one, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And I spent a couple of hours, stood up, just behind you, or behind me, stood up over there, winding all of my balls into mini cakes and putting them in their little bags, and I am knitting them in order. So I'm currently knitting on what was day 12, and Sherry Iris, if you've never bought one of her yarn advents before, I urge you, if you have the disposable income, they are a real treat. I'm not sponsored or anything, it's not an advert, but the attention to detail. I've had 3 of her advents, and each year the mini skeins come in a little Liberty pouch, and it is my intention to do some English paper piecing with these. I'll get two hexagons out of each pouch. So I'm currently on number 12. Number 11 was missing, and I think that I used number 11. I've been wearing my Herkle Durkle cardigan today. I think I used number 11 for the contrast pocket in my Herkle Durkle cardigan. I've been wearing this but while I was out, but I'm quite warm now. Just trying to show you in there. Yeah, so, and I'm also wearing it is a Nomadic Knits 12 Days of Christmas make along mystery cowl, and I can't remember whether it was from, I think it was from 22 going into 23, I think, but I can't remember the name of the pattern. Anyway, this is such fun to do. I am sitting in the living room watching telly at night, and I am working through half of each mini skein. So my mini skeins are 20 grams. So my little kitchen scales are on a little coffee table, and when I think I've done enough, I weigh, and I'm aiming to have 11 grams or so left. And oh, this is the right side. I've got this lovely Progress Keeper here, which was from Elderflower Stitches. I had a spring box a couple of years ago, and it had that Progress Keeper with some lovely little stitch markers that were all sugar almond colours, and one of them was a little pink rabbit. Anyway, this is how much I have done, and I just love it. It is so meditative, and I really like the way the fabric is knitting up. It's on a 4mm needle, fingering weight yarn. In fact, actually, I didn't look to see whether it should have been DK yarn. It doesn't matter. I'm thoroughly enjoying this, and I've sewn some ends in as I've gone. It's got this I-cord edging, but I'm I'm knitting my 2 strands together, and then these just need when I join a new colour in, these just need trimming. The longer ones I might just weave through with a needle, but yes, I love it, and it's like I don't know what colour's coming next in my bundle. So when I've got to day 24 and I've used half of it, I imagine there's going to probably be, oh, I don't know, 400 or 500 stitches on the needle by then, at least, I would think. I've got some cream that I might do a little bit of, and then I go back from 24 to 1, and I'm decreasing so that I've got this knit on the bias, if that makes sense. Just love how those holes all line up. I just love it. I'm so enjoying it, and glad that I have started it. Other plans, I'm not going to show you because there's not enough to show really. I bought some yarn from Ducky Darlings at the summer wool show at Redbourne School. I bought 4 colours to do the barnacle shawl, and that's kind of died a death. I really do want to crack on with that, but I need to get my head around the pattern and I need to do it in daylight until I get kind of au fait with it. The other big plan for 2025 knitting wise, I want to get my ranunculus cast on. I've got some Debbie Bliss silk, I think it's a DK weight, that I've had for many years. I've got some cream. I'm going to knit a summer tee in that. Actually, I might have a look and see if I've got enough to do the anchor tee. I think that would look nice, but I might not. I know that I've only got a smallish quantity. However, having said that, I know that when I was last looking at the yardage that I'd got, I was probably about 2 stone bigger than I am now. So I am slightly narrower here. So I could go down a size and I've got a bit more yarn to play with, if that makes sense. So I really want to do a nice tee with that Debbie Bliss silk. It's like a real butter colour. It'd be lovely for spring, summer. So ranunculus, barnacle shawl, silk tee. Grid lines, obviously, that's really easy to take out and about with me. I won't be taking the habitation throw out and about with me until I won't, because there's too much to carry around. Looking at how I can get through stash this year is a goal, definitely. But I'll come back to goals in a minute. I'm going to put my glasses on now because I can't see you. And I am sorry that the light is so bad, and I'm sorry that I always seem to look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. I think when I came on just before Christmas, I was so poorly. I'd been really poorly. Me and hubby are much better. We were still suffering over Christmas, but I think we're over the worst of it. We're still both coughing, although it's a dry, tickly cough now rather than a chesty cough. But yes, as you know, last year, out of this Knitted Animal Friends, knit Amelia the duck. And the intention was to give it to my daughter Molly for Christmas, but she saw it when she came home in the autumn. And I said, oh, you might as well have it now. And the weekend that she was home corresponded with when some family were around. And I'd said to the girls, I will knit you all an heirloom toy for next Christmas. So I have got 6 heirloom toys to knit during 2025, all for Christmas. 7 if Harry wants one, actually. Yes, so I'll try and insert pictures here, I think, rather than flick through the book. But my eldest niece, actually I will show on the book, my eldest niece, Rachel, wants Dorothea the mouse. And actually I have already got the yarn to purchase, to start knitting that, because I was going to potentially do that for the Mousy Makes Mouse Make Along. So there is Dorothea the mouse. So that might be something that I can take to school with me, because it's little bits and pieces, although the pattern's quite big. So I reckon, yeah, if I can do one a month over the next 6 months, it gives me plenty of time to think about how I'm going to present them for Christmas. Yeah, so my eldest niece wants Dorothy the mouse. My younger niece, Becky, wants the fox, who's called Charlotte. And I'm really pleased about this, because I've wanted to do the fox, because I really like the fox's outfit. Look, it's got a pale blue dress and that gorgeous green coat. I love that. Then my great nieces, the eldest one, Thea, who's 10, wants an Amelia the duck. So that's easy enough. Ella, my youngest daughter, wants also Amelia the duck, but she wants it with the squirrel outfit. Let's have a look and see if I can find that. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. 52. So she wants a boy duck with the squirrel outfit. So green shoes, yeah. And the bag from the fox. What page was the fox again? Bear with. I love these so much, I tell you. Contents page. No, hold on. Fox 44. So the fox has got a bag. Yeah. So she wants the bag from the fox with the duck as well, the boy duck. That's going to be quite cute, isn't it? Then my next youngest niece, great niece, Heidi, wants Harry the ram, which is going to be a bit of a chore because it's got a stitch that I don't like on it very much. It's got the bobblies for the head. Heidi's quite tomboyish, so she's really good at football, so that'll be quite cute. One of my jobs is going to be to do an audit of the yarn that I need and put an order to Wool Warehouse in. Then Heidi's little baby sister, Marlo, wants the hedgehog. Well, her mum's chose because she's only 2. She doesn't know what she wants. Who's called Holly. Holly is on page 60. That's cute, actually. That is so lovely. Oh, these toys are just such a joy to knit. And now that I've done one body and I've, you know, done the arms, I know how to do the arms, I know how to do the shaping on the feet and everything. Look at her Mary Janes. I can't wait to do that. Yeah, so that's Holly the hedgehog. Then my sister Karen, this is the last one, wants Stanley the raccoon. Interestingly, her stepdad's called Stanley. Stanley the raccoon is page 72. Oh, I'm going to have such fun. Look at him. Isn't he lovely with his little stripy shorts and his face? Oh, so I'm so excited for doing those. I cannot tell you. Anyway, that aside, my big push knitting wise is going to be doing stuff for the yarn bombing event, and I'll be drip feeding some videos throughout the year. There'll be one going up perhaps in about 3 weeks of progress so far, and it's like a diary of the event right from the inception up to the event itself. So if you don't know, this year 2025 is the 20th anniversary of the International Knitting in Public Day, and this year it falls on June the 14th. And in my hometown of Rugby in Warwickshire, we are hosting a yarn bombing event, and there are 2 outside spaces that are going to be yarn bombed, and then a lot of the independent retailers, oh, that was Siri, shush, a lot of the independent retailers are going to have little displays in their shops based on a lot of the illustrations from Alice in Wonderland. And one of the reasons we've gone with an Alice in Wonderland theme is that Lewis Carroll went to rugby school. Quite a lot of famous people went to rugby school, actually. And obviously, if you don't know, rugby is the birthplace of rugby football. So I'm super excited about it. I'm a bit worried as well. I've been asked to knit a sheep, quite a big sheep. And I'm also going to be given a tree of my very own to yarn bomb. But there's a lot of people involved in this event. There's over 100 people knitting and crocheting, and things are starting to come together. So when I've got a bit more, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? yeah, when there's a bit more to show, I can film a bit more. But one of the things I'm knitting at the moment is a fish. I don't know quite what display that's part of, but it's quite good fun. So yeah, I've just got, it's a 3-panel fish, and then I've got to do fins. So I've done 2 out of the 3 panels. Yeah, but it's great fun. So last couple of things I'm just going to talk about is what I've been reading. So I finished this book in December. It's quite old, Snowflowers and the Secret Fan. So this is set in China at a time where young girls still had their feet bound. And this is by somebody called Lisa C. She's written a few novels in her time that are all set in China. And there's some beautiful writing in this, and it tells a story of 2 girls who are lifelong friends called Sames, and they have their feet bound at the age of 6. Oh, and some of the descriptions are very vivid, and thank goodness it's outlawed now. What a brutal thing these young girls had to go through because men thought that having lily feet was attractive and desirable. Beautiful, sad story. Happy in places as well. Beautifully written. Not the kind of thing I would normally read, and I don't know whatever made me pick it up really, but it says one of the little blurbs from Cosmopolitan on the back says, startlingly vivid, punishing customs such as foot binding and unbreakable female bonds are brought to life in enchanting detail, so gorgeous it hurts. Passionate and involving story of love, a beautifully written novel, as informative as it is moving. A beautiful depiction of a real and secret world that has only just disappeared. Read it and be transported. Just looking to see when it was first published. It's first published in 2005, so yeah, getting on for 20 years old. But if you can get your hands on a copy of this, I well recommend it. And then I picked this up out of a bookcase in one of my daughter's bedrooms, and I do actually think that it is a teen fiction book. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and I'm 2/3 the way through it, about a very privileged family who have got houses, not just one, but houses, holiday houses on an island in America somewhere. And it's just about young love, summer fun, but there's some darkness in this as well. So yes, I'm hoping to get that finished very soon. What are you reading? What can you recommend? I love crime fiction. I love murder mysteries. I don't need to buy any books. I've got hundreds to get through. But I love books. I love bookshops. We do have an independent bookshop in Rugby, but it's quite small and everything is very higgledy-piggledy. So one of my favourite things is to go to Waterstones. I love Waterstones. I love how everything is laid out and all the different gifts and things that are there as well. I really like that. And then if I'm ever lucky enough to go to Bath, and in fact, if you are ever lucky enough to go to Bath, if you don't know, they have a bookshop there called Toppings. It's a very old bookshop. It used to be in a different part of the town to where it is now, and it is currently housed in a converted chapel, and it's beautiful, and they just have the most amazing selection of books there. If you're looking for things that are a bit unusual, it's really, really nice. Yeah, so tell me what you would recommend to me. But yes, I'm going to have a little declutter of my books, I think. Last thing to talk about, because I have been on for absolutely ages. I was going to talk about what I've been watching on telly, but I think I'll do that next time. I'm going to talk about my goals. So I think my knitting goals are to not spend just for the sake of spending. I am lucky I have got a place on another yarn retreat or knitting retreat with Lay Family Yarn at the beginning of October. and I'm going with one of my knitting friends this time. I went last time and didn't know anybody, but that was absolutely fine because you're made to feel really welcome. There's other people that go by themselves and don't necessarily know anybody, but I'm going with a friend, Lou. We're going to share the cost of getting there, driving. So yes, I need to put some money by for that, and I will be looking at my favourites in my pattern stash to see what I might purchase. And I need to stop buying 4-ply because a lot of the patterns that I like are actually DK. But I don't do a lot of DK knitting, which is silly really because it grows quicker than 4-ply, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm going on my yarn retreat and I'm putting money away for that. The other thing is I am definitely this year going to buy the Sherry Iris Yarn Advent. So I am putting money away for that. And I'm making sure I'm checking my emails so that I know when they go live because they sell out very, very quickly. I'll be very disappointed if I don't get one. I'm also going to commit to one other yarn advert. I'm not going to go mad and have more than that because I don't need the stash. It's about the gratification, isn't it, of just opening a little something every day. But yes, so that is another goal. If I do buy yarn, I am going to buy with intention. And I know that some people use apps on their phone that are somehow linked to Ravelry. And I need to have a look at that. If you know what I'm talking about, because I don't, but if you know what I'm talking about, let me know. So that, you know, when I'm out and about, if I do go to a yarn show, I can think, oh yes, I would like to do that and I need this for that. And I'm just going to try and not get overwhelmed by a hobby that should be bringing me joy. So on that note, I'm going to have a little slurp of my water and I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to aim. I've been hopeless on this channel of late. I'm very grateful if anybody watches any of my videos. I really, really am. But I'm not being consistent on this channel. So I am going to aim to be consistent and I am going to try and upload one video a week on this channel. Or maybe let's say one video a fortnight. And if it's one a week, that would be good. If you like more vloggy things, if you like paper crafting, do head on over to my other channel, Paper and Twine. Yes, but I'm going to get this uploaded. Oh, and in my next video, I'm going to draw. I did a little giveaway ages ago. I've got a little bookmark to give away, a little handmade bookmark that's got sheep on it. I need to get that drawn. I keep forgetting. I'm really, really sorry about it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year to everybody. Do let me know what you're knitting on. Do let me know what your knitting goals are. And I will be back very soon. Take care. Put love into every stitch.